Paul Matovu, a businessman in Masaka District, had a Fuso truck which he used to transport merchandise. On the 11th of October 2024, the truck, driven by John Bosco Chigundu, was loaded with flour en route to Masaka town.
When the truck was loaded, it couldn't brake immediately. So when the car suddenly pulled in front, the driver swerved to avoid a collision, lost control, and the truck ended up falling on the side of Mpanga Forest.
The truck was towed to Mpigi police station. After a month, Matovu visited the station to follow up on the case. He was informed that the now defunct Uganda National Roads Authority, UNRA, was responsible for the impounded truck.
After the truck was towed, OC Mpigi Police Emmanuel Wawire instructed me to park it at the police station. The OC informed me that UNRA had assessed a fine of 9 million shillings for damage to 3 guardrails. I asked him to share the contact details of the relevant UNRA officials so I could proceed with paying the fine.
He claims he tried to meet the UNRA official in vain.
When I called, the officer gave excuses, saying he was not available as he had gone for a burial in Busia.
Previously, it would be on the budget of government to meet those costs, but it was hardly sustainable. So in the law, the law that we have, the Roads Act of 2019, when somebody actually damages any part or asset or furniture along our roads, they are required to meet the costs of repairs.
One thing that I would advise the people is that, first of all, understand that you are dealing with the right people. That is where the police now will link you to the officers, and I'm sure that assessment form is a genuine document with the stamps of with a headed paper by the ministry and the stamp of the responsible officer who is doing the assessment.
After being tossed around for 2 months, Matovu filed a complaint before the state attorney, who summoned the file. However, the officer in charge of the police station declined to bring it.
Eventually, the OC was compelled to produce the case file. However, by that time, UNRA had already undergone restructuring. I then requested him to bring the complainant to court so I could settle the matter and pay the penalty.
I think we're actually quite flexible, because if you feel that our assessment is obnoxious and you can't actually meet it, you are allowed to meet or to have an arrangement with a private contractor who we actually have on the market. The supplies of these items are on the market, so you negotiate with your contractor to replace these assets.
When the driver went back to the police station, he was apprehended and charged with reckless driving. Matovu appealed to the regional police commander and the district police commander, both of whom ordered the OC station to release his truck.
The RPC, Peterson Okuja, instructed the DPC to release the truck. I even purchased a release form, but the OC refused to sign it.
When that incident happened, as far as I know, first of all, the driver who was driving that vehicle ran away. So he didn't report anywhere at police, and he had never been seen up to today. So the person who came now to claim for that vehicle was not the registered owner. So it was, of course, hard for police to deal with this person.
Matovu is frustrated because the situation has taken a toll on his livelihood and income.
Since my vehicle was impounded, my children have missed school for the past 2 terms. I did everything I could, but he was not willing to release the truck. In fact, the individuals he claimed were from UNRA turned out not to be the actual staff. They were impositors. He even told me that even if I went all the way to President Museveni, I would still not get my vehicle back.
NTV engaged Michael Kananura, the public relations officer of the Directorate of Traffic and Road Safety, over the matter.
But of course, in the meantime, we can't also sit with such a vehicle for all that long. We also forward our file to DPP, who also now had to guide us the next step of action. And I think he guided properly. And that is now where we saw this man, after being compelled, he had now to go and look for the registered owner, who I think later on also appeared. And I think the assessment was given to the person, But then I think up to today, which has not been cleared, I'm sure that money has not been cleared because I was trying to inquire. And in such a case, of course, the vehicle still remains there because this has not been sorted.
Matovu still hopes that justice will prevail and he will be given back his source of livelihood. I'm Benjamin Jumbe, NTV.